I will start by thinking about this device. The phone that's very likely in your pocket right now. Over 40% of Americans check their phones within 5 minutes of waking up every morning. And then they look at it another 50 times during the day. Grown-ups consider this device to be a necessity. But now I want you to imagine it in the hands of a 3 years old. And the society will get anxious. Parents are very worried that this device is going to stunt their children's social. That's going to keep them from getting up, and that somehow this is going to disturb childhood. So I want to change this attitude. I can envision a future where we would be excited to see a preschool interacting with a screen. This screen can get kids up and moving even more. They have the power to tell us more about what children is learning than standardized tests. And there is a really crazy thought. I believe that these screens have the power to prompt more real life conversations between kids and their parents. Now, I was perhaps an unlikely champion for this cause. I studied children lectures because I was going to work with kids and books. But about 20 years ago, I had an experience that shifted my focus. I was helping lead a research study about preschoolers and websites, and and I was assigned a 3 years old named Maria. Maria had actually never seen a computer before. So the first thing I had to do was to how to use the mouse. When I was opening the screen and move it across the screen, she moved it to, and she stopped on a character's named X the owl. And when she did that, the owl lifted his wing and waved at her. Mary dropped the mouse, pushed back from the table, leaned up, and started waving frankly back at him. Her connection to that character was visceral. Wasn't a passive screen experience. This was a human experience. And it was exactly appropriate for a 3 years old. So I've now worked at PBS Kids for more than 15 years. And my work there is focused on harnessing the power of technology as a positive in children's lives. I believe that as a society we are missing a big opportunity. We are letting about this device. Hold it back from realizing their potential in our children's lives. Fear about kids and technology is nothing new. We were here before. Over 50 years ago, the people was raging about the newly dominant media, the television. That box in the living room, it might be separating kids from one another. It might keep them away from outside world. But this is a moment when Fred Rogers, the long-running host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, challenged society to look at the television as a tool that could promote emotional growth. Here's what he did. He looked out from the screen and he held a conversation as if he were speaking to each child individually about feelings. And when he would pause and let them think about them, you can see his influence across the media landscape today. By the time That was revolutionary. It shifted the way we looked at television in the lives of children. Today, it's not just one box. Kids are surrounded by devices. And I'm also a parent. I understand the feeling of anxiety. But I want us to look at three common fears that parents have and see if we can shift our focus to the opportunity that in each of them. So, fear number one, screens are passive. This is going to keep our kids from getting up and moving. Chris Pratt and Maria Pratt are zoologist brothers who host a show about animals called Wild Kratts. They approached the PBS team to say, can you do something with these cameras that are built into every device now? Could this camera capture a very natural kid play pattern, pretending to be animals? So we started with bats. And when kids came in to play this game, they loved seeing themselves on screen with wings. But my favorite part of this, when the game was over and we turned off the screens, the kids kept being bad. They kept flying around the room. They kept veering left and right to catch the mosquitoes. And they remember things. They remember that bats fly at night. And they remember that when bats sleep, they hang upside down and fold their wings in. This game definitely got kids up and moving. But now, when kids go outside, did they look at the bird and think, how did the bird fly differently than I flew when I was a bat? The digital technology promoted embodied learning. The kids can now take out into the world. Fear number two, playing games on these screens is just a waste of time. It's going to distract children from their education. Game developers know that you can learn a lot of player skills by looking at the back-end data. Where did a player pause? Where did they make a few mistakes before they found the right answer? My team want to take that tool set and apply it to academic learning. Our producer in Boston, WGBH, created a series of serious George games focused on math. And researchers came in and had 8 deeper scholars play these games. They then gave all 80 of this standardized math set. We can see early on that these games were actually helping kids understand key skills. But our parents of UCLA wanted to dig deeper. They focus on data analysis and student assessment. And they want to take that back in gameplay data and see if they could use it to predict a child's math score. Today it made a neural net they essentially train the computer to use this data. And here's the result. This is a subset of children's standard math score. And this is the computer prediction of each child's score based on playing some curious George games. The prediction is astonishingly captured, especially considering the fact that these games were built for assessments. The team that did this study believed that games like this can teach us more about child cognitive learning than standardized tests can. What if games could reduce testing time in the classroom? What if they could reduce testing anxiety? How could they give teachers some snapshot of insights to help them better focus their individual learning? So the third fear I want to address, the one that I think often the biggest, and that's this. These screens are isolating me from my child.